Okay, in this video there's going to be a stack of information, a whole bunch full of stuff to listen to, and also going to reveal the winners of the LEGO City Space Contest. It's not going to be a very polished video because I'm as sick as a dog and I'm getting over a very bad flu or something, so it's not going to have that fancy stuff that I normally do. Oh, God! God! Oh. Oh. Well, where I live, it's the middle of winter and I'm starting to see the Alien Conquest finally arrive on our shores. It was touted as a spring release for us. And for those who don't know me, I'm speaking of the country Australia. And I've got to say, this is an excellent little themed set. I love it. Well, I picked this little guy up for $8 and this quite stunning set I got for $34. And I'm always curious, how much did you pay for these sets? I was waiting for these sets to come out because I needed them to complete my space epic where the aliens attack. And now the aliens are here finally. There's some great little features on this set I really like. And at the moment that's probably how I feel, the same as that guy. Anyone who's bought Garmadon's Dark Fortress is going to recognise this guy, but can you see what's happened to mine? A hand which normally looks like this, now looks like this, and it was broken from the insertion of one of the weapons that this guy plays with. So is this sort of wear and tear normal for LEGO, or is this part of the legacy of this cheap Chinese plastic that I hear so often from the other LEGO tubers about? I'd love to know what your thoughts are on this. I've actually lost count of the amount of people that have told me the reason why my LEGO police force has no guns is because LEGO is a peaceful toy and is devoid of guns. I've got a bit of a revelation for them here. These Star Wars packs are crammed with guns. And hey, I'm not any guns, but I just like to point out the facts. And just from two of these sets, look at how many guns you can collect for your police force. Well, I can tell you my LEGO police force are fighting fit now. And what you see on screen now is what was collected by the ladies down the road in just 2 weeks via my very interesting collection method. And that collection method was detailed a few videos ago, and I think it caught a lot of people by surprise in how effective it is. Certainly catching me by surprise. There's a few items here that we're going to have a little special look at. And I've also got some items to give away because it's stuff that I just don't keep. Well, the first item of interest is this Trackmaster piece. And it's got a little carry handle here, so you can take it on for a little picnic. And once you've opened it up, this is what you've got. And I've added my Diesel 10 there and a couple of trucks. That's a little set which is Elsbridge. I dare say the Thomas fans are going to know about this. But I can't stand this new track system. So I'd like someone who's a fan of this system and already has it, just leave a comment if you're interested in having this. I'll send it to you for nothing. And you'll be much happier and I'll be happy as well. It's gone to a good home. And from the comments left on this video, the people interested in this, I'll pick one randomly. Please don't PM me because I'm getting hammered in the PM mistakes at the moment. And there's not a chance that I'll be able to reply to you. And just a reminder, Diesel 10 is not part of the deal. And while we're speaking about this sort of train system, a lot of people would know this blue Tommy track and they really like it and they've got heaps of it. I don't have much of the Trackmaster track, and to be honest, I don't want to start collecting it. I don't want to start over again. But I have found a good source of this again. In the great big department stores in the toy section, I'm now spotting the Tomica Tomy train sets, and it's a great find and they're very inexpensive. And if you're fans of that old blue track, there's plenty of it in here. I've even found rolling stock and I found track packs. And this is great because I can keep expanding to my Tomy blue track system. Oops, sorry to make a stuff up, it's actually Tommy for me. And the shop where I purchased these is Big W. Thank you, Big W. Is this one for the Thomas fan who's got everything. At first I thought it was a take-along playset until I folded it out. All aboard! Now, what is that? This one here is an interesting find because I've never seen anything like this before where I live. I'm pretty sure the audience is going to know all about this piece, and of course it's Lady. There's a button on it that makes this sound. I've got to say, she's got a pretty nice looking face. But what makes her interesting is she's from Subway, And I always thought Subway didn't do toys in the same way that McDonald's and a lot of other fast food franchises do. And it has me curious what other characters they had in this series. Here's a curious little one, and it does have a motorised action in it when you push down the man at the top, and it's from the earlier times of this franchise. Quite a nice little startled face there for Thomas. I quite like that, although the drivers had better days by the looks of it. And when we look underneath, we see it's a Tommy Thomas, a little tiny one, and it's licensed for 1998. And I've got to say, it's a real goer. You give it a couple of bleeps, and off he goes. There's a lot of go in this little guy. And yes, there was a whole batch of the Checkout Thomases in that hall. Here are two of them, and one of them is a special themed Thomas. Some sort of celebration type Thomas there. Yes, it only seems like yesterday when these guys were all through the shops in Australia. Every time you went down to the supermarket, they were assaulting you at the checkout section. Here's a curious one from the ladies down the road. It's a little tiny, what seems like N scale, and it's full of lead. Doesn't have a motor, but it's very heavy. Does anybody know what this one's about? And considering its tiny scale, it seems very well detailed. And in the bundle of Thomas stuff came this Matchbox and Corgi trains, which I've got no use for, and if you leave a comment and I see that you've got some of this stuff, I'll be glad to send it to you free of charge. Now, this is what I see underneath the Matchbox one, and it says made in England, so straight away that tells me it wouldn't be a recent toy. And here we are looking underneath the Corgi, and it says made in Great Britain. So again, this is something from the past, because everything these days is made in China. You know, it's funny, I vaguely remember the Matchbox ones, and I think they're from the 80s, but please don't take that as the gospel. And really, I want this to go to a collector, not someone flogging this on eBay. I'm really serious about that. I've had so many people ask me about the Pez Thomas and where to get them. And I only just bought this in Australia, so they're still available. You've got to look around. I bought this at Toys R Us in the suburb of Chatswood in Sydney. And my very simple advice is, if you see these in the shops, buy as many as you can. Well, these cost me $3 a pop, but I have seen them for as high as $5 and over in boutique candy shops. So do some shopping around and be very careful where you buy them. And for those who know my channel, the two things that I've done with the Pez Thomas is I made a powered one using a Bachmann Gandy Dancer, and I made a USB stick one quite some time ago. It was a very popular little project. For the wooden train set review that I'm working on, and it's going to take a while to put together, I've added another set which will key in to the Thomas, Chuggers and the Aldi set that I've already got. Kmart Australia at their mid-year toy sales had this set in stock on the shelves, and this is what I got myself for my birthday. And look, it's got a piece count, and as I'm making this video, the very final shuttle mission is orbiting up above me, and what a craft, what a craft. It was just amazing to see this thing in development when I was a kid, and I was so excited about it. I actually went over to the US and I saw one lifting off, and as any good tourist does, they buy stuff at the Kennedy Space Center, and I bought this patch which reveals the shuttle launch that I saw. Now, who knows this space stuff? Why was this shuttle launch so important to the ongoing use of the space shuttle? And here's the big mid-year sale toy catalogue. There's the space shuttle, and you had to be quick. They were going out the door so fast, I barely got one myself. And on the front page of their toy catalogue were two great specials, the Battle Arena and Garmadon's Dark Fortress, for a very, very low price of $69. Now in the US you might be saying, oh, but $69 is our standard price. Hey guys, Garmadon's Dark Fortress was $119 at full retail price in Australia, and that's a lot of money. Okay, now's the time. We're going to reveal the winners of the LEGO City Space contest that I had going over the last couple of months. Thank you to all who entered. Not many people entered this contest. Possibly had some fairly crappy prizes up for grabs there. So I dare say people just want Star Wars stuff. Would that be right? Does everyone want Star Wars stuff? Just, I want Star Wars. I want Star Wars. I want the guns out of the Star Wars sets. It's probably all I'm after. One way of winning in this contest was to type in a funny comment, and if it was space related, that's better. If it was LEGO related, even better again. And the way I checked them was I put them up into Google, the ones that I liked, and if they came up as jokes of the day or astronaut jokes, whatever, in the bin. If it didn't come up as anything like that, well, you had a pretty good chance of winning. And the winner, you'll have to excuse me, I'll just look at my sheet here, is Joe and Bros. And their comment was, an astronaut was flying his rocket when an alien ship grabbed his rocket with a tractor beam. The astronaut cried, "Let go of me!" And the "let go of me" is spelled with Lego. Was it funny? I just thought, I don't know, I just saw that comment. That was from a while back, and you're the winner, and this is what you win. Got to show the prizes. It's the moon buggy and the satellite launch pad. So I've got both of those. I did a review on them, and I can guarantee you it's all good. And just to explain how the judging was done, and it's done the same with all my contests, it's done on a spreadsheet. Of course, I can't tap into this one because it's on paper. But when it's in the computer, you can click on the link here. This is a video link. And then there's a link here to your channel. That's the one where I can just jump in and see if you're auto-playing the my Space Center video, because that was the bonus 10 points that you get. A little comment by me about your video to remind me what your video was like. Out of 10 points for if you're auto-playing. Out of 20 points if you had funny bits going on there, which were generally funny. And out of 20 points if you did the crash scene that was asked for. That's part of the rules in this contest, and it's totaled up, and then I get a tally of first, second and third. So that's how that's done. It's done for real. It's not just things picked out of the sky. And I think I always say to myself, the people who enter early, that's these top people, are really taking a risk because you're showing your cards. And I think my advice to anyone is, if you're entering a contest, is to go and look at the entries of the ones that are already up and try and pick off something which is different to everyone else. Try and be yourself, and it's difficult to do, but try and really stand out from everybody else. And that's something that the most winning entries of my competitions end up being standout videos, and that's a surefire way to win. And to get on to the third place winner, and it was it actually came equal second. Now it got pushed to third because it was a later entry. It's one of the later entries in the contest, and I think that's the fairest thing to do here. Just have to cough. Hang on. Sorry about that. I just had a coughing fit. As I told you before, I'm under the weather. Yeah, second and third came. Well, actually, they came equal scores, and what I did was I pulled them apart, and I made the earlier entry pull second place. But what pulled third was from the YouTuber Big Boom Productions 1, and my comment here was good animation with alien attack, a few laughs, and a good crash. And they've got third, so your prizes are a moon buggy and the satellite launch doodah pack, whatever pack that is, and I've totally forgotten. So well done, Big Booms Productions number 1. And moving on to who won second place, and it's the YouTuber Lego Wiz 4561. And what I said here was rocket fails, then launches truck, very funny moments, and use a light flash as the sort of get around of seeing destruction. But I sort of let that through because in the end, in your destruction scene, you had a skeleton. So I reckon if you got skeletons in there, you get bonus points. And I think you add a skeleton to anything and you're going to win. And you got 43 possible points out of a total of 50. And actually this equal score with who came third. But because you entered before the person that came third, you pulled second. And I think I've got to always respect the YouTubers who show their works earlier in the competition, because it's like showing your cards and all the other people can look at it and say, oh, they've done this and maybe I can sneak in there and shake their tree. So it's very, very brave to enter competitions early, and I'm going to talk a bit more about that in relation to another YouTuber soon. And what you've won, nearly forgot, is to make Variety the Spice of Life, the little satellite launch thing. and the moon buggy. Well, for one person in this competition, I've got you a very special prize, and it all revolves around the thought of support is better than spam. It's my little saying that I've got at the moment. Support is better than spam. Say it to yourself 11 times over. And I like to get into people's brains. If you support someone, the good stuff reciprocates back. It's like, whoa, you know, you do something nice, hey, it comes back, it can come back tenfold. And a lot of people find it hard to get their heads around that. But in this contest, a YouTuber who ended the contest first had a fantastic entry, but he just fell out of the top 3. He got 42 points out of a possible 50. His channel name is Topper Twist. And what I wrote about his entry was rocket gone wrong, space shuttle failed, missing tail section, but you put a fantastic little crash scene in there where you can clearly see the space shuttle go into a house. And that's something a lot of people missed out on. Now, because he ended first, everybody else could say, oh, I could blow him away. So what I'm going to do is, I noticed you had my video up on your channel through the whole length of the contest. So every time I went to your channel, all I saw was that little guy going, are we ready to test fire the engine? Yes, fuel leak fixed. I mean, how in the hell did you put up with listening to that chat from those little minifigures? But I've got you something special! Bending over, oh, look at that. It is a unburnt, pristine, brand new, un-Leo Kim videoed space, one of my favourite sets, the whole rocket shebang. And mate, thank you very much for your support. Really, I am truly blessed by the way you clung onto my channel. And you know what? I know you've just become partner. Congratulations on that. A lot of people don't like this whole partner thing, and there'll be the haters that come in and want to dog you down. Just ignore them and use them to your own evil ways. But the Beanmeister put me onto you, I'll be honest there. And he said to me, Leo, keep an eye on this kid. He's up and coming. Every video that he does is better than the one before. He's extremely keen on Lego, and this is the important part. You're keen on Lego, you're keen on YouTube, mate, that's the recipe for success. And well done in being brave, putting your first entry in, kicking the whole contest along, and the support, just fantastic. I can't praise you enough. And let's move on to who won the first prize, and I'd like to talk about that entry at length. After a coughing fit, of course. Well, let's move on to the person that won this competition, the Space Center competition. And historically with my competitions, and I've had a few now on YouTube, is the person who wins tends to present something which is outstanding and different to the rest of the entries in the competition. And basically they followed the rules as well. That's really important to do. A lot of people try to land in these competitions and they just think, oh, the rules are for the suckers. Well, mate, the rules are there to keep the suckers out. What I've written about the person who won is done in an archival news format. It's a great build-up in the story. It had funny lines in it. And it had a really, I call abstract crash, in the sense that the thing it crashed into was a garbage compactor. It was just, it was just so different. I don't know where your brain was in that, but the whole melancholy phase to the video was great. Done in that historic sense was very clever as well, and it looked so different to the other entries. I noticed that someone a little bit later on tried to sort of rob the style, but you certainly had the substance. You ended pretty early in the contest, and if your channel name is, I should tell you who you are, I dare say you know who you are by now, is Kekahoe5, so it's the KKEHOE5. You've got first place and you scored 46 points out of a possible 50. You did very well. The crash scene was just so different. I mean, had that little shot in the cockpit plummeting towards the trash compactor. I mean, just, I don't know, crazy little scenes like that stick in your mind. And what you've won is a set which I still have not built yet, but it's the Space Shuttle doodah and the satellite launch doodah, with which I quite like, and of course the excellent and fantastic moon moon buggy, which is, I keep saying, if you're in the shops and you see this, get heaps of them because the minifigure in it is fantastic. And I'll be bundling those off to you once we have a little chat. Well done. Just a big thank you to all the people that entered the contest, and I've got a big contest going at the moment, which is going completely sideways, but it's a lot of Thomas fans are getting into it and showing their little collections, character by character, and it's going to be a very, very interesting one when it comes to a close. It'll be going on for some time, and the prizes will just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger because, well, why not? Just that's what people want. They just want massive prizes. Anyway, I hope I've been able to entertain you. Sorry for the delay in getting this video up. I've been dog sick, and I mean, normally I'd voice over this much better, but this is the best I can do in the state that I'm in. Thanks very much for watching, and see you another video. I suppose it's another moment for the faking gay army to have a go at me at. Well, that's a real light, guys.